अभी भी 50 पार्टिसिपेंट ने अभी तक रोल नंबर अपना डाला नहीं है, जैसे कि सुखदेव भोसले सर, स्मृति देवी मुंडे, सिद्धेश्वर गोरे, उसके बाद संगीता मोटकर। जब जो भी पार्टिसिपेंट मैं यहाँ पर अनाउंस कर रहा हूँ, प्लीज आपका रोल नंबर, आपके नाम की जगह आपका रोल नंबर डालिए। नितिन माने, लोहरी प्रीति, तेजराव साबळे, उसके बाद शर्मिला मैम। आप मीटिंग ज्वाइन करते हैं तो आपको रोल नंबर डालिए, क्योंकि आपकी अटेंडेंस काउंट होती है। अगर आप नाम डालते हैं तो अटेंडेंस वैसे भी काउंट नहीं होती है।
So, very good afternoon to one and all. I would request all participants to open the camera. A resource person has joined our cloud meeting. So, I would request all participants to join a cloud meeting. Today, we have with us Dr. Pavnesh Kumar, sir, who is working as a professor in School of Management Science, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. A person with a vast teaching research experience who has uh, a vast experience in research and teaching as well. So, on behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, I welcome Professor Pavnesh Kumar sir to this NEP orientation and sensitization course. And without taking much time, I will hand over the session to him. Over to you, sir.
Please confirm whether my voice is audible, sir.
Yes, your voice is audible, your screen is visible, but it's not a full screen, sir.
Let me check.
स्लाइड शो, हाँ स्लाइड शो मोड में नहीं है सर।
एक मिनट, थोड़ा सा इशू रहता है इसका, पता नहीं
जी,
क्यों ये नहीं आता है। नहीं, विजिबल है कि नहीं ये बताइए पहले।
विजिबल, इट इज वेरी मच क्लियरली विजिबल,
हाँ,
इवन इफ यू डोंट इनलार्ज इट, विजिबल है सर।
ओके। सो आई होप दिस इज द एनईपी सेंसिटाइजेशन प्रोग्राम, और
यस,
इट इज
सेंसिटाइजेशन प्रोग्राम,
सेंसिटाइजेशन प्रोग्राम। सो
थर्ड डे ऑफ सेंसिटाइजेशन प्रोग्राम।
हाँ, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी टेक दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी to express my sincere gratitude to the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Marathwada University, and especially the MMTTC for inviting me as a resource person on a topic which has become very relevant, because dear friends, you might be knowing that there is a direction from the University Grant Commission now that almost in all the subjects, the Indian knowledge system, Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, which is known as Bharatiya Gyan Parampara in Hindi, must be integrated. Now there is lot of work going on. There is a separate organization in Ministry of Education now. You might be knowing Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti. The name of that organization is Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti. There they have offered the postdoctoral fellowship on the Indian knowledge system, you might be knowing, and they are providing a handsome amount in PDF, that is more than 1 lakh rupees. Okay, and number two, rewriting of the syllabus is already in the process, and it has been direction from the UGC that the Indian knowledge system content should be in almost all the subjects, whether it is physics, chemistry, management, commerce, everywhere. So there should be some content of Indian knowledge system. Before that, there was a mandate of UGC that students can take certain credit from the SWAYAM or MOOCs. Okay, so while designing the course curriculum, you all of might have included this also, that the student has flexibility to have they can earn credit on SWAYAM and MOOCs, certain credit, and up to 40%. The main thing is that up to 40% of the total credit the students can earn from the SWAYAM and MOOCs. Okay, so the first because today I had to take two lectures. The first lecture which I have designed for you is the role of National Education Policy 2020 in reviving Indian knowledge systems in higher education, which has become very important. Now, yesterday only I met one of the professor who is working on, like, our field is commerce and management, my field is management. So he was just we are doing brainstorming, sitting somewhere in Delhi at a place, that can we have something on history of management in India, whether there are certain management thinkers or not. Because while doing my own MBA program, we know Philip Kotler, we know Luthans, we know Peter Drucker, but is there any management scientist who can be the part of the syllabus? Like, we might be knowing certain names like Ramcharan right now. He has written many books, Ramcharan, and earlier there was C.K. Prahlad. So these management scientists whose origin is from India must be included also, and even Madan Mohan Malviya. Friends, those who have visited um, Banaras Hindu University, I have written long back, near about 6 years back, I have written a paper, Madan Mohan Malviya, a great manager. Okay, so because you might have seen how he has managed to take land and resources, and he has established a great university, and that is Banaras Hindu University. And this your the center which is basically offering this NEP sensitization program has been named after him, Madan Mohan Malviya Teachers Training Center. Okay, so now directly I am coming to the topic, that introduction to the topic, that NEP and IKS. The first is NEP 2020 emphasizes holistic education, which will be rooted in Indian traditions. Friends, we have seen that many students, talented students from IIT, IIMs, and NITs, they also commit suicide. Okay, in spite of that, they are the cream of the cream. They take admission in IITs because there is some lack in our education system. Having admission in those prestigious institution, after getting admission in those prestigious institution, they commit they are not so emotionally strong. So now the NEP 2020 talks about the three kinds of health. Number one is physical health, number two is mental health, and number three is our spiritual health. So it talks about in Hindi, which is known as making a student sarva guna sampann. Sarva guna sampann. So for that, NEP 2020 emphasizes on holistic education. And we know that this National Education Policy 2020 basically uses an approach that is known as cafeteria approach. Cafeteria approach, where the students have flexibility to select the subjects from the bouquet of subjects, from the bouquet. Now, there will not be any restriction from a student from the science background that he cannot take a subject like economics. And economics student can also opt for the environmental science paper. So the approach is cafeteria approach, where the student has a flexibility to select the subjects uh, from the bouquet. Now, IKS include ancient sciences, philosophy, arts, and linguistic traditions. And from IGNU, I am happy to share you all that this information, that already For as far as the MBA program is concerned, we have already offered this MBA program. Our course curriculum is available in Odia language now. If somebody from Odisha, those who knows Odia language, and they want to pursue their MBA in Odia language, they can compete it. Our course material is available in Hindi also. All the books of MBA, which was earlier in English language, has been translated into English. And next projects are on Marathi, Telugu, Tamil. And soon you will see that all the MBA course curriculum, the material which we say as SLM, study learning material, will be available in different languages. Okay, so the reason being that nobody should be out of the ambit of getting a degree. The language should not act as a barrier. Next one is that higher education institutions are mandated to integrate IKS to curriculum. So that I have discussed in the starting of my lecture only, that it is now mandatory. Now you should also think of that what IKS content can be included in my subject, in your subject which you are teaching. The next one is the focus is on reviving traditional knowledge systems in modern language. Now, friends, these are the various objectives of NEP 2020 in higher education. Number one is make education multidisciplinary and holistic. That I have been discussing, that there will be no stand-alone institutions in the future. What do you mean by stand-alone institutions? Like I am giving you one example. Like IIT Kharagpur is starting medical. Do you know the IIT Kharagpur is going to start a medical college now? There you can find courses in like MBBS. Already IIMs, they are offering courses like law, integrated law, BBA plus law. So you might see in future that these standalone institutions will be converted into universities where there will be number of various departments. Like IIT, in IITs, almost the courses are related to technology. They offer BTech and all that, but soon you will find that these all standalone institutions will be converted into Meru. Okay, MERU. Number two is emphasize experimental learning with an Indian ethos. So the national education policy also talks about the experiential learning. Friends, earlier the mode of teaching was lecture dominated. Now the students, they prefer more experiential learning, and that's why from the class 6th onwards, as far as the NEP is concerned, the vocational education has been introduced. Earlier the vocational education was introduced from the class 9. Now it will be introduced from class 6th only. Okay, and you might be knowing in your universities also there is a specialized course like BVOC, Bachelor of Vocational, BVOC, MVOC, and even after doing MVOC, the students can also pursue their PhD programs. So the emphasis is on experiential learning. Why it is the need of our friends? Because we know the larger chunk of our population is youth, and there was a survey from the various agencies, and they came to the conclusion. Even the Chamber of Commerce, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, CII, they have conducted various surveys, and they have conducted studies, and they have found that the degree is not the guarantee that the students have skill sets. Okay, so for that reason also the skill is very important, and skill, we know, whenever the application of knowledge, whenever we apply the knowledge, that is skill. Application of knowledge is skill. It means knowledge in action is a skill. So the experiential learning is very important. Next one is foster global competitiveness while maintaining cultural roots. Friends, if I will ask you one question, those who are from economics, you will answer this. Who is the father of economics? Then naturally, because we know this commission, after 1857, a commission came in 1880. It is almost 200 years 200 years. And after that, our 6 to 7 generation in 6 to 7 generation has passed, and we have been colonized. And our answer will be Adam Smith, who has written The Wealth of Nations, is the father of economics. And we know that there was Chanakya. Chanakya was near about 2300 years ago in India, and he has written a very beautiful piece, that is Kautilya Arthashastra, and that book is basically related with the political economy. And he has given he had mostly he talked about the philosophy of economics, political economy. Basically, it was related with political economy, but we don't give credit to Kautilya. And in most of the universities, the Kautilya Arthashastra is also not the part and parcel of the course taught as a core subject. He is taught as a thinker in economics, but not as a course. His philosophies are not taught in many universities. So we want to become globally competitive, but but we have to maintain the cultural roots also. This is the core of the NEP 2020. Next is the bridge the gap between traditional and modern education, जिसको हम बोलते हैं the combination of नूतन and पुरातन. Nutan means modern, Puratan means traditional. Next is strengthen research in Indian traditions. Friends, you might be knowing, just 3 to 4 days back, there was a scholarship which has been offered by ANRF. Have you gone through that? Anusandhan National Research Fund. Have you ANRF? Almost ICSR is coming with lot of projects. Recently on Ahilyabai, there was a special call from the ICSR research project on Ahilyabai also, and recently ANRF. In NEP 2020, there will be a separate institution which will be known as NRF, National Research Foundation. The chairman of that foundation will be ex officio the Honorable Prime Minister of India. The corpus will be of 10,000 crore rupees. So 10,000 crore rupees is not a small corpus, friends. So we can expect that there will be a lot of research, you can say scholarships and all that coming from the government side in future. And next one is encourage flexibility in learning approaches, which I have already discussed, that the teaching is going to be now student centric, because student will be the center of the policy now. Next one is but the question is, what is Indian knowledge system? It is traditional Indian wisdom across disciplines, that is Ayurveda, yoga, astronomy, mathematics, etc. Friends, we know that Vedic mathematics, whether it is Vedic mathematics, whether it is yoga, yoga is the appropriate word, yoga or Ayurveda, these are the gift of India to the rest of the world. This India has gifted to the rest of the world. So this is Indian knowledge system. Next is indigenous pedagogies and their relevance in modern education. Friends, we know there is lot of knowledge which has been stored by the tribal people in the forest area, also in the mountains. These tribals, they live and they have indigenous knowledge. So this is also part of the Indian knowledge system, and that should be preserved. That should be the part of our course curriculum. Okay. IKS is an alternative knowledge framework alongside Western paradigms. So, and last one is, there is role of oral traditions and ancient manuscripts in knowledge preservation also. So, because we know most of the Indian history is in oral tradition, which is also known as Smriti. So these are basically the part of the Indian knowledge system. What is the need of reviving IKS? First one is cultural identity and self-reliance, because it basically talks about this IKS talks about the cultural identity and self-reliance. Friends, we know the culture, basically culture is software, and what is civilization? Civilization is hardware. Like we talk about the Sindhu Ghati Sabhyata, Indus Valley civilization. Civilization is basically the hardware, and culture is the software of any society. Okay, जिसको हम संस्कृति बोलते हैं. So that must be preserved. Number two is contribution to global knowledge. Either you talk about Aryabhat, whether you talk about Chanakya, whether you talk about any like C.V. Raman, India has gifted a lot to the rest of the world. So this knowledge must be recognized. Next, addressing contemporary challenges with indigenous wisdom, enhancing India's soft power through knowledge exports. And friends, I have been going through one book yesterday where it was mentioned that India has not only exported the spices. We know that when the Vasco da Gama, you might be knowing Vasco da Gama came into India, and what he came into India in Kerala, and when he returned back, he picked many spices with him. Okay, and when he sold the spices, he has recovered one. The ratio was 1:30. He has invested 1 rupees in the voyage and earned 30 rupees. This is the data which has been given in many books. He has invested 1 rupees in the, let us assume 1 rupees in the voyage, because when he has started his voyage, he has only invested 1 rupees, and when he sold the spices there from where he came, because that voyage was sponsored by the king, he earned 30 rupees. So that was the value of the Indian spices. That's why the Kerala was very a hard spot for the trading. And you might be knowing, and when I was going through that book, the I have the name of the book also. In that, it was mentioned that in the Roman Empire, the kings, they usually import the elephants and parrots, not only the animals from India, but also the trainers. And the name of trainers from here, and the name of the book is The Commerce Between the Roman Empire and India, okay, by Warrington. In that, he has mentioned that long years before, the kings from the world, they not only import the gems and jewelry, but also animals from here. They also import the parrots and these elephants. Why they purchase? Used to purchase the elephants, because Indians have uh, mahavats, those who basically run the elephants, those who can train the elephants. They also import those also. So enhancing it, the reviving of IKS matters, because in order to enhance the India's soft power through knowledge exports. And next one is sustainable solutions inspired by traditional knowledge. Friends, in our day-to-day life, we usually listen one word, that is ki we should spend so much amount that we earn, not beyond that. It means we are not basically our society is not too much consumerist. We used to save something. And you might be knowing, when in 2008, when there was a American crisis, our economy was not so much impacted. The reason being, we usually believe in saving. So our solutions are always sustainable solutions, and which are basically inspired by traditional knowledge. Okay, so sustainability is one of the core of the Indian knowledge system. There should be sustainable solutions and revival of regional knowledge traditions. So these are the reasons why IKS matters. Next one is NEP 2020 provisions for IKS integration. Number one is, that is, it emphasizes on ancient literature and philosophical text. Number two is establishment of indigenous knowledge hubs in universities. And like in most of the universities, there are Atal incubation centers. In the same way, in future, in some of the universities I know, there are the indigenous knowledge hubs to preserve the languages. Okay, already work is going on, and basically for those languages which are on the verge of extinct. Like I know there is Central University of Jharkhand, there is Indira Gandhi National Tribal University. There are special centers which are working on preserving the languages. Those, because India is endowed with many languages, and many languages are on the verge of extinct. So there are various indigenous knowledge hubs to are will be created in future. Next, promotion of Sanskrit and regional languages. As I have already discussed, that the regional languages, because usually we remember the things in our mother tongue. So promotion of why we talk about the Sanskrit, because Sanskrit is Devadi. Most of our literature is available in the Sanskrit. The main language is Sanskrit. So promotion, and recently you might have found that 3 central universities have been created. One is Central Sanskrit University. There is another Central University, Lal Bahadur Shastri Sanskrit University, and there is also a Sanskrit University in Tirupati. So already the government is giving the Central University status to the to these all these Sanskrit universities. Okay, creation of research centers and IKS focused universities. As I have already discussed, that in AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, there is a separate IKS division. You might be knowing there is a separate IKS division in All India Council for Technical Education. And one of the IIT professor from Kharagpur, he is taking care of that. There is a team, whole team. They are working on this. And if you go through the IIT Kanpur website, you can download. They have worked great on the Vedas also. Okay, IIT Kanpur, their professors are working on that. So already the creation of research centers and IKS focused universities are in process. Multidisciplinary approach to education, that we have already discussed. So now coming to NEP 2020 provisions for IKS integration. Uh, Role of higher education institutions. What may be the role of higher education institutions in IKS? Number one is establishing IKS. So there may be IKS research centers. There may be specialized research centers which can work on IKS. Number two is incorporating IKS courses in curriculum. Friends, when I started my lecture, I have shared one thing with all of you, that in almost all the courses, this is going to be mandatory to include IKS content in almost all the subjects, whether they are from the science, whether they are from the humanities or social sciences. We have to integrate the IKS content in our curriculum. And friends, have any of you have gone through the draft guidelines for the promotion now, which is in on the website of the UGC? Can anybody anyone can say? Have you gone through the draft guideline for the recruitment and promotion of the faculty members, which is in the UGC available on the UGC website? You might have been recruited on the basis of UGC regulations 2010 or 2016 or 2018, maybe. And before that also there are various guidelines. But have you gone through the recent UGC draft guidelines? Please go through that. It is available on the UGC website. It says that out of the 8 dimensions, it is not final. Out of the 8 dimensions, you have to at least score in 4. And you might have gone through that the this UGC care has been delisted. Now there is UGC peer reviewed journals, and what is the guide? They have provided the guidelines on the basis of which the universities can select that what will be the peer review, which will be considered as the peer review, and which journal will not be considered as a peer reviewed journal. But what the purpose of saying is that these draft guideline, UGC new draft guidelines for the recruitment and promotion of the faculty member, says that you can earn points from by developing a Indian knowledge system course, incorporating the content in your course curriculum, or delivering lecture on the Indian knowledge system, or participation in the seminar which is basically related with the IKS. Now out of 8 you have to complete you have to score in 4. Okay, and one of them is IKS. So you can see in future you will find that many professors writing paper on IKS, attending the seminars on this, or delivering lectures on IKS. So this is the recent development. I thought that this information must be shared with you all, so that you can find out that what is the importance of IKS going to be as far as your career is concerned. Now, partnering with the traditional knowledge practitioners. Now, you might be knowing there is a concept of professor of practice. There is a concept of professor of practice in most of the universities. Already, a few professor of practice has been appointed also. It has a handsome salary of more than rupees 1 lakh. And for the professor of practice, it is not necessary. I am emphasizing and hammering on this point that it is not necessary that the person should have PhD degree. He should be have qualified net. Anyone, whether they don't have any degree, but if a certain person have a specialized knowledge, he can be appointed as a professor of practice in a university. Okay, that is not a permanent post, but the expertise of that person can be exploited for the benefit of the students. So, friends, the universities can partner with the traditional knowledge practitioners also for this purpose, and creating interdisciplinary programs to merge IKS with modern sciences. That we have already discussed, that the institutions can now create interdisciplinary programs to merge IKS with the modern sciences. Now, what will be the implementation strategies for IKS in HEIs? Number one is how, because from the last 5 years, because NEP 2020 came in the year 2020, now it is 2025. From the last 5 years, we are only doing the sensitization program, we are only talking about. But as far as the implementation is concerned, there is a less progress. So what can be the implementation strategies for IKS in higher education institutions? First is curriculum development with IKS elements, which I have already discussed, that your course should have certain content of IKS element. Like if somebody is writing about physics, let us assume, if somebody is writing about physics, he or she can include Aryabhat in that. Who was Aryabhat? What was his philosophy? So like that. So history of physics in India. So who are the great leaders? Who are the great thinkers? Who are the great persons in this field, physics field? So curriculum development with IKS element can be there. Number two, faculty training in traditional knowledge domains. So already the MMTTC is conducting faculty training program on IKS. There is many specialized programs also, friends. Many MMTTC are conducting these specialized programs in this area, setting up IKS chairs and departments. And you can find, do you know that there are certain courses, even IGNU has offered MA in Gita recently. Have you heard about this course? MA in Gita. If somebody wants to do, they can, because it is an open distance learning university, we have offered MA. Earlier, the people used to do MA in political science, commerce, MA in economics, or MA in sociology, but there is a separate course like MA in Gita from IGNU now. Now, in many universities, there is MA in Hindu studies. In Delhi, two universities I know. I don't know whether other universities are offering or not. The Banaras Hindu University and Delhi University, they are already started a course MA in Hindu Studies. In MA, and some universities I have found that they are also starting course in MA in Indian Knowledge System, and already in NET exams. Hindu Studies, if somebody want to do NET from the Hindu Studies, they can do NET in Hindu Studies. That is part of now NET syllabus also. Okay, so there may be faculty training in traditional knowledge domains. Universities can set up IKS chairs and departments. Already there is Bharat Vidya Kendra and all that already established in many universities. Integration of IKS in national and international conferences. So lot of, you might have seen that many national and international conferences are organized using IKS as a theme. Institutional collaboration with Gurukuls and heritage knowledge centers. So universities, they can collaborate with the Gurukuls and heritage knowledge centers in order to disseminate the knowledge related with IKS. Next one is digitization of manuscripts and traditional text for wider accessibility. Friends, do you know that there are various special projects from Bharatiya? You should go and you should open the website of the Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, because they are dedicatedly working on that. Now you can translate. For translation purpose, the government is giving a handsome amount. If there is a book in Marathi, there are various books in Marathi also. Great. So if you want to convert that Marathi book into Hindi, the AICT has a you can say translation device that is known as Wadi, some Wadi karke, there is a translation tool that you can use for translation, and for translation also there is separate budget. Have you gone through the budget which came in the February 2025? There is a specialized amount which has been granted for translation of the books, and it is not only 1 or 2 crore, it is near about 200 crore which has been allocated for translation of the manuscripts. Okay, so digitization of manuscript and traditional text for wider accessibility, and you can be part of this journey, and you can take some assignments where you can translate. What happens, friends? How we have translated the this MBM course material in Udia, because we don't know Udia, we don't know Telugu. This so what we have, how the ICT has facilitated us. The content, there is the content soft copies were given to AICT. They translated, that is known as machine translation. They have done the machine translation, and vetting was done by somebody who knows Udia or other languages. Like if it is in Telugu, a professor from Telugu language, or a management professor who is teaching finance there in English but knows Telugu, will vet it. And for vetting also there is a handsome amount. Okay, so there is for translation there is a lot of scope for faculty members. And if you visit the websites and you visit the Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti and all that websites, you can get the projects also, friends. So now, friends, there is multidisciplinary approach and IKS, like that is blending ancient wisdom and modern innovations, combining IKS with STEM. Here STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The full form of STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics discipline. So because there is a lot of resistance from the faculty members of the science field, that what we will teach IKS in mathematics, physics, or chemistry, or biotechnology. There is a lot of resistance, because we have not searched the contribution of India till date. So the IKS need to be combined with all these disciplines. The focus of NEP is on STEM disciplines, friends, because if we want to become Vishwaguru, if we want to lead the world, so we have a great position in Silicon Valley. The reason being, our students are good in mathematics, they are good in science. That's why we are leading in the Silicon Valley. Either you go through, take the name of any CEO of big corporations, you will find they are all BTech graduates. May not be from the IITs, they may be from the tier 2 colleges, but they are good in mathematics and science. So IKS now need to be integrated with the STEM disciplines. Next one is case studies of successful integration in HEI. Friends, you might be knowing the concept, the pedagogy of case study teaching has been adopted from this case study method, has been adopted from the medical science field in almost all the subjects, whether it is sociology, political science, management, or commerce. This case study pedagogy has been adopted from the medical science field. Now, if somebody is from management field in this course, he or she might be knowing that almost we go through only with the Western case studies, the case studies from Europe and US, but we need to develop the case studies from India also. We have less case studies. Even In sociology also, most of the contents are from the Western world. Our family structure, our values are different. Okay, the values and culture, the family system is different in other countries. Okay, in European countries. So we need to develop the case studies which are India specific and region specific also. Understanding IKS application in social sciences field and creating hybrid courses integrating philosophy, ethics and sciences. Friends, till date, the professor of economics will not talk with the professor of environmental science. But can we segregate sociology, political science, and economics? Can we segregate? We cannot segregate these three disciplines because we know that if society changes, then it has an impact on politics. If politics changes, it will impact the economy also. This sociology, political science, and economics, they should be should not be read in a vacuum way, in a separate compartments. They must be integrated so that we can get a comprehensive view. Now, as far as the IKS and new teaching pedagogies are concerned, like Gurukul system inspiration for modern teaching, we can go through the Gurukul system. We can inspire from the Gurukul system for the modern tech teaching, because friends, see, we need to do experiments now. I know there is a school in Lucknow, that the name of that school is Scholars Home. The name of the school is Scholars Home. There, the students, they do not carry bag with them. It is not allowed. They have been given cabinets. They will do their homework also. There is no homework which is given to the students, and they will keep their books, and they will not carry bags. That is the uniqueness of that particular school. So we need to do some experiments now. Okay, friends, do you think that the style in India earlier, the Gurukul system was not like that? The teacher is on the podium and rest of the students are sitting in the theater form. We have a circular form of uh, classroom. So it means that our system of teaching, the pedagogy, need to be changed. Now, practical application of ancient teaching methodologies. Okay, we can use that. Experimental and problem based learning from traditional methods. Friends, normally, like we might be knowing that there are various sociological problem. They may be region specific also. Like so our experimental our research topics should address the problems of a particular region where the university is located. Some of the PhD scholars must select the topics which can address, which can solve the problem, local problems, region specific problems. Like if there is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Marathwada University is there in Vidarbh region, so they can work on the problems which are basically there in the Vidarbh region, the research topics, and usually they do. Okay, and the local problems on which the students can work. So experimental and problem based learning from traditional methods. Role of storytelling and oral tradition in education. Friends, we might be knowing, we learn many things through stories. This is one of the pedagogy. Okay, and stories are the best method, best pedagogy through which you can explain the concepts. Okay, so storytelling and oral tradition should be the part of the education system now. Now, friends, if we talk about the research and development in IKS, so as I have already discussed that we must now funding initiatives for IKS research should be there, and this funding should not only come from the government side, it can be from the CSR funds also, corporate social responsibility funds. Okay, the have you gone through a new notification from the UGC, which was basically uploaded on the website of UGC yesterday? And the UGC is basically directing the universities to generate funds from the internal sources. Please go through that. It is uploaded on the UGC website. So how we can generate funds? Number one, we can generate funds from our alumni base, those universities which are old. Recently, an alumni in BHU has given 1.2 millions donation to the IIT BHU. 1.2 million is constructing a complex there. Alumni can be one of the method, alumni base. And number two is we can generate funds from the CSR. You might be knowing the big corporate houses have a large chunk of corporate social responsibility funds. Okay. And the universities, they can have their CSR cell and they can have projects from there. Okay. Next one is collaboration with global institutions. We can have collaboration. Friends, because you are from Maharashtra, I want to update your knowledge that recently in Gurgaon, a foreign university has already established its campus. And name of that university is University of Southampton. Do you know the name of that university? University of Southampton. They have now their campus in Gurgaon. I have an opportunity to visit that university recently 10 days back, and 6 universities, foreign universities, have been granted permission to open their campuses in Navi Mumbai and nearby areas. Navi Mumbai, you might be knowing that Raigad district is there, Panvel and all that area. So 6 universities, new foreign universities I am talking about. Foreign universities, they got permission, and 2 universities are ready to open their campuses in Bangalore. So, and recently on 16th of July, the Minister of Education, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan ji, this notification is available on the Ministry of Education website. You can go and you can search that also. He has inaugurated the campus of University of Southampton in Gurgaon. So why I'm talking about all these things? Because the universities in India have an opportunity to collaborate with the global institutions in order to know the global best practices also. Not only it will be one-sided, they can also learn from the Indian universities how we are managing the students, how we are offering the quality students at the lower prices. So they can also, so collaboration always leads to the co-creation of knowledge. So if you want to co-create the knowledge, there should be collaboration. So we can collaborate with the global institution. Number third is digitization of ancient text and knowledge repositories, that we have already discussed, that the work is going on. Connecting IKS with sustainable development goals. Friends, you might be knowing that India is signatory to this UN SDGs, and we need to achieve this target by 2030, 2030, sustainable development goals. SDG 3 is basically related with education. In the same way, we are also we want to achieve the target of net zero till 2070. Net zero till 2070. So in order to achieve all these targets, target of sustainable development goals or net zero objective uh, till 2070, we need to connect IKS with these goals. And you will feel proud that in almost all the sectors, this solar energy has been you can find that solar panels. Even there is a yojana from the Prime Minister, that is known as PM Surya Yojana, where you can plant the solar system on your home also. So why government is giving so much pumping so much money in this field? In order to achieve the sustainable development goals objective, number one, in order to achieve the target of net zero till 2070. So India want to become a case study for the rest of the world, that we are not only dependent on the fossil fuels. So this will be possible only by connecting the IKS with the sustainable development goals. Now, what will be the role of language in IKS preservation? What will be the role? The role is the Sanskrit, Prakrit and regional languages in academia, and we know that all the Buddhist knowledge is either available in the Pali language or Prakrit language, friends. And in Sanskrit language, the rest of the Vedas are available. So the language is very important for the IKS preservation. So we need to preserve the Sanskrit, Prakrit, and other regional languages also. Number two, importance of vernacular languages in knowledge dissemination. Vernacular languages are very important. AI and digital tools for language preservation. Friends, I want to share one thing, that we cannot ignore or we cannot sideline the artificial intelligence now. There was a statement from the owner of the Microsoft, Bill Gates, that there are two professions which are going to be in danger in future. And one of the profession is the profession of teaching. Because friends, the artificial intelligence like Chat GPT, generative AI, and Gemini and all that, they can generate lot of knowledge. They can create lot of knowledge. Even in the fraction of seconds, you can prepare your PPTs. In fraction of seconds, if you write, if you give a good prompt, that is known as prompt engineering, to Chat GPT, you can have lot of material on any topic, because it is drawing this Chat GPT generative AI is basically extracting the information which is available on the World Wide Web plus something extra. They are working on big data. So artificial intelligence and digital tools for language preservation can be used. Now translation initiatives for making ancient text globally accessible. So that I have been discussing, that the already 200 crore rupees has been allocated in the recent budget for the translation purpose, encouraging bilingual and multilingual research in IKS. So friends, we can have this, the bilingual and multilingual languages. So that is the formula for जिसको हम बोलते हैं तीन सूत्रीय भाषा जो है वो यही है कि पर्सन शुड नो मोर देन one languages. Okay. Now Ayurveda, Ved, Yoga and traditional medicine in NEP 2020. That is research opportunities in yoga. And friends, I am happy to share you that in most of the central universities, there almost I know 5 to 6 universities, central universities, they have already dedicated department of yoga, where they are offering BA in yoga studies, MA in yoga studies, and also conducting these PhD in yoga. Okay, so why? Because yoga represents the soft power of India. This is the gift of India to the world. Yoga is the gift of India to the world. So that is basically increases our soft power. So research opportunities in yoga and holistic wellness. So next is development of naturopathy and herbal medicine curricula. On this we can work on integration of Ayurveda into medical education. So friends, we know there is, out of 4 Veda, one of the Veda is related with Ayurveda. Ayurveda, and during Corona crisis, almost 90% of the public has basically relied on Ayurveda. Jo kadha and all that they have used for that. Okay. Policy support for traditional medicine research and collaboration with healthcare institutions for research validation. So not only the healthcare, the universities can collaborate with the healthcare institution in order to validate their research, because we know that until unless our research is not validated by any agency, authentic agency, will not get recognitions. Now, we cannot ignore the mathematics and astronomy in IKS. Why? The contribution of Indian mathematicians that I have been discussing about, like Aryabhat and Brahmagupta. Friends, Aryabhat was basically born in Bihar. Aryabhat, and his contribution is that he has given zero to the that is not the discovery of the Western world, that was the discovery of Aryabhat. Okay, Brahmagupta was there. So these are the great Indian mathematicians. We have very less worked on them. Number one, Vedic mathematics in modern education already. I know there is a online platform known as ODA classes. There are many. Vedantu is there, ODA classes are there. They are already offering a short-term courses on Vedic mathematics, because Vedic mathematics has not been the part of our course curriculum. In many universities, this certificate course in Vedic mathematics has been started now. You can have certificate course, you can have diploma courses in that. And as I have already discussed that while framing the mathematics syllabus, now because we have to include the IKS element in our course curriculum, many professors from mathematics are also integrating this Vedic mathematics in their syllabus also. Contribution of ancient Indian astronomy. We know we have a lot of contribution. Relevance of Surya Siddhant in contemporary astronomy studies. Surya Siddhant, Indian contribution to calculus and trigonometry. So these things should be included in the syllabus now. Friends, now we cannot ignore architecture. You might be knowing the trigonometry. When there was any puja uh, in our home, we used to make the Yagyashala, and that is the great example of trigonometry. So, relevance of Vastu Shastra in modern architecture. Even we, while construction of our houses, we think of this, that the Vastu Shastra should be there. So, Vastu Shastra is also a gift of India. Classical Indian dance, music, and literary traditions in educations. So, this should not be ignored. The classical Indian dances, revival of ancient art forums in university curricula. We can revive the ancient art, understanding temple architectures and its engineering precision. Friends, you might be knowing about the Kedarnath temple. It survived. There was a heavy landslide there, but it survived. Even many temples, if you go through the Nagar Shaili, there was various Shailis in India. Nagar Shaili was there. The South Indian temples are made in a different way. So if you go through that, you can find out that these architectures are very unique. So we can have this in that. Even Gujarat University is also teaching a course like temple economics. How, like in Maharashtra, there is a place where the Shirdi. Can you believe that the Shirdi Baba, Shirdi Wale Baba, that whole city is basically getting the bread and butter of that only one temple only. Even so, temple economics, you can find out that there is now airport also, there is bus stand also. Many people are selling vegetables and fruits. Many tourists are Shraddhalus are coming there. So there is a specialized course which is offered by the Gujarat University on temple economics. Okay, how the temple can change the economics of the area. Okay, so and not only temple architecture but temple economics can be included. Sanskrit poetics and literary aesthetics in modern discourse. So this can be the part of IKS. Friends, I am now Indian philosophy and ethical learning. We can have role of Nyaya, Mimamsa, Vedanta in contemporary education. Ethical and value-based learning inspired by IKS. Because friends, we know, you might be knowing there was a company known as Satyam Computers. Uh, Now it has become bankrupt. And almost when any company becomes bankrupt, the reason being the top management is not ethical. So even in management course curriculum, it is the and in commerce education, it is the need of the hour that ethics should get a proper place. Okay. And Bhagavad Gita Upanishad and their relevance in leadership studies. Yesterday, I have conducted one lecture in a MMTTC program. The name of that lecture was Leadership insights from the Indian scriptures. So we know about autocratic style, we know democratic, we know about laissez-faire, but we also know about the servant leadership. But we can get the role models from Indian scriptures also. Like Ram was a great leader, Buddha was a great leader, Mahavir Jain was a great leader, even the Guru Gobind Singh was a great leader. So, what leadership insights we can get from their personalities, their works? That should be also the part of the Indian philosophy, and ethical learning should be the part of our course curriculum. Moral philosophy and dharmic tradition, like we know about Panchtantra, we know Jatak Kathai. So we have moral stories in that form that can also become the part of our syllabus. Now, global recognition of ICAS, UNESCO recognition of Indian traditions. We know UNESCO has already recognized our Indian traditions. International yoga collaborations on Ayurveda, yoga, and Indic studies. So there are Indic studies specialized centers in many universities abroad. So, and demand for IKS based courses globally. So the world is basically looking towards India to get the solution. Friends, we know that the science has made our job very easy. The science has given many solutions to our problems. But in spite of that, why we are very sad? Why there is war going on? Why there is war going on in the world? Why there is so much, you can say, I have not found from the last 15-20 years which I am observing any single year where war is not going on. Even there is a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. Recently there was war between 8 years war between the Iraq and Iran. So India can give solutions to all these type of problems, because the India believes in Buddha, not in Yuddha. Okay, so demand for IKS based courses are basically gaining globally. Next, Indian contribution to global environmental sustainability. Friends, there are a lot of books, there are a lot of case studies which says that the Indian, because whenever we um, in our home tradition, whenever prepare first chapati, we used to give it to the cow. We have certain portion of the chapati for the dogs also. That is, these all things are part of our sustainability. Even we used to pray the plants, okay, like tulsi. So our lifestyle, our way of living is basically pro environmental sustainability. Okay, so this can be the gift of India to the world. And challenges in implement, but there are various challenges in implementing IKS in higher educational institution. One is lack of trained faculty in IKS domains. Okay, there is lack. So the reason being that till date, during our own courses, when we did our BA and MA, we have not been trained. There was no subject like IKS. We don't know that. So there is lack of trained faculty in IKS domains. That's why specialized programs are conducted by the MMTC. Resistance to change in academic structures. Whenever there is one thing, friends, which is very common, which is very constant, and that is change. Change will happen whether you are ready or not. There is a very great book which you should go through, and the name of that small book of rupees 150 only is Who Moved My Cheese. The name of that book is Who Moved My Cheese. If you go through that, you will find that the change is inevitable. If you are not ready to change, you will be outdated. So resistance to change is everywhere in the academic structures. It will happen because we usually say that including of the IKS will reduce the employability of the students. Number one, what they will learn by learning these IKS, it is not relevant globally. So there will be questions which will come, but because it has to happen, it will happen. Limited availability of standard IKS curricula is there, because we have not from the since independence of India, there was the content has not been developed. Need for proper funding and resources for IKS research. This is the one of the challenge, and balancing traditional wisdom and modern scientific validation. Because until unless the traditional wisdom is not validated scientifically, it will not be accepted. So this is the need of the hour. The what are the solutions and roadmap for IKS in higher education? Number one is faculty development and specialized training program should be there. Development of research-based IKS curriculum, policy interventions and funding support, because without funding, the faculty members cannot work. There should be some policy from the government side also. And one of the policy which I have just discussed, that in the new draft guidelines, IKS is one of the dimension on which if you work, you can get promotions. Earlier, you might be found that before 2010 or 9, sorry, 2009, there was no need of writing, there was no system of API. So the teachers, they don't used to write papers. Those who are basically fond of research, they usually write. And in the last 5 to 6 years, you might have found that there are one teacher who has not written a single paper in the 10 years, he might have written 60 to 80 papers in only 2 years, because they need promotion. They want to increase their API. For selection, it has become very important. In the same way, once it will become the a part of the recruitment and promotion, though that will be mandatory for the teachers to have something on IKS, creating digital repositories of Indian knowledge. Now, friends, government and institutional support for IKS is like initiatives of by the Ministry of Education and UGC. I have already discussed that there is a separate wing of Bharati Bhasha Samiti, which is there, which is working on role of institutions like IITs, IIMs, and AICT in IKS promotion. And this I have already discussed that AICT has a separate division, IKS division. And I have also given one example that IIT Kanpur has worked a lot on Vedas. Okay, and this IKS division of AICT is basically run by the IIT Kanpur. So IITs are already engaged in this. Next is establishment of IKS research centers and fellowships. Already I have discussed that the Bharati Bhasha Samiti is already started giving IKS fellowships, government incentives for IKS based education reforms. So there should be some government incentives, and that incentive will be in the form of translation of the books, in the form of writing the books, editing the books. So a lot of projects are coming, which we could see. So there should be case studies of successful IKS integration. Like IIT, you can go through the IIT Delhi's IKS division, you can find out how much they have worked. In spite of they are part of the not part of the social science, but they have worked a lot. Nalanda and Takshila models in modern education. We can have Nalanda and Takshila. Friends, can any one of you give answer to this question? Where is Takshila place? In Nalanda, we know it is in Bihar. Where is Takshila? And where is Vikramshila? Yeah. Any one of you? Where is Takshila? There was a great university like Takshila. Where it was located? Any one of you? You can open your mic and you can. It is in Pakistan now. Very near to Rawalpindi, Takshila. Okay. So Takshila is not in India, modern India. Earlier, because we know that Pakistan was also part of India before 1947. So Takshila was there, and it was a great seat of learning. And you will be surprised to know that the great economist Chanakya and Chandragupta, they got their education in Takshila. The Chanakya was trained in Takshashila, not in Nalanda. And you might be knowing Huan Swan. Huan Swan was basically got his education in Nalanda. He was not only the student of Nalanda, but also became the professor of Nalanda University. And recently, a university which is sponsored by the Ministry of Education is opened in Nalanda, and name of that university is Nalanda International University, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister just 6-7 months before. So you can, so why I'm talking, so these are the success stories. The revival is going on, and already a new central university is coming in Vikramshila, which is in Bihar near Bhagalpur district. So government is already trying to revive these places, which have been the great seat of learning. State universities incorporating IKS based courses, and I have given one example of the Gujarat University also. They are offering a lot of certificate and diploma courses. Collaboration of HEIs and Gurukuls that we have already discussed. Now coming to, I have 2 to 3 minutes, friends. So then I will end my lecture. Digital and technological introduction for IKS in the form of online courses, MOOCs on IKS can be there. We can develop the SWAM courses. AI and machine learning and decoding ancient manuscript. The AI and machine learning can be used for decoding it. Blockchain for preserving IKS knowledge repositories. So blockchain basically makes the repositories very safe. Now, role of faculty. What can be your role in promoting IKS? Number one, publishing research on IKS in index journals. You can go for that. Encouraging faculty members to engage with IKS research, creating interdisciplinary courses, and conducting workshops and FDPs on IKS. Now, action plan for faculty members is encourage students to explore IKS through research projects and identify ways to include IKS in existing courses. This can be the action plan from the faculty side. Now the conclusion and way forward, my last slide is that we can have future opportunities in IKS education research. The need of call of action is there from the faculty members, and we need to go through the NEP document which says all about the IKS. Okay, so thank you so much, friend. I will come up with my second lecture. It is now 3:45. I will re-log in at 4, and we will end the session at 5. So if there is any question from these slides, you can ask in the next 10 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes of my next lecture. So thank you to all of you. I will log in at 4 o'clock, and I will come with a new topic: academic leadership, governance, and management. Thank you to all of you.
हेलो अटेंडेंस नहीं है
हो सर हो मैम
Should we start, ma'am? Madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yes sir
Yes.
Okay, so I hope it is now four in my watch. So I will try to conclude the session near about 5. And my voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the topic which I have selected for you guys is academic leadership, governance, and management. Okay, and why I have selected this topic in almost all these NEP sensitization program. This is the topic which is always discussed because for the implementation of the National Education Policy 2020, we need great academic leaders. We need good management and governance of the universities or colleges. So because until unless the academic leadership is not proper, governance is not okay, and management is not proper, NEP objectives could not be achieved. Let us talk about NEP 2020, which we have also discussed in our previous lecture. That is, it talks about holistic development. What is the meaning of holistic development? Comprehensive growth across intellectual, emotional, and physical domains. This I have already discussed that the objective of NEP 2020 is to achieve the three kinds of health in any person: good health, good mental, physical, and spiritual health. Number two, it talks about multidisciplinary education, that is course stream subject integration for broader horizons, because we know we have found that many great scientists have also written a good poems. I know many scientists, you might be knowing. There is a very popular person who usually write novel, Chetan Bhagat. He is not from the Hindi or English background, humanities background. He is product of IIM Ahmedabad, but his books are sold like anything. There is Robin Sharma. So for broadening of our horizons, our thinking, our vision, there need to be multidisciplinary education, and NEP 2020 talks about this. Our most important thing is institutional autonomy. Friends, do you know that the universities which have got the accreditation of NAC A++, they can start online courses, online and distance learning courses. The universities which have got NAC A++ degree, they can start online courses. They have been given freedom. Many state universities and central universities are already have started the Center for Online and Distance Education. The reason being, automatic approval is there. If you have NAC A++, you can start. You can generate revenue from there. So institutional autonomy is another thing in order to enhance flexibility in academic decisions. Fourth is quality education, that is globally competitive educational standards commitment. And recently, friend, if you have gone through the Times of India news today, if you type HECI bill, Higher Education Commission of India bill, and we are expecting that this bill will be introduced in this monsoon session. HECI bill. And HECI bill, what will be the impact of HECI bill? AICTE, UGC, and NCTE, National Council for Teachers Education, All India Council for Technical Education, and University Grant Commission, they will not exist in future. They will not exist in future once the HECI bill will be passed in the monsoon session this time. And the government has already prepared the HECI bill, Higher Education Commission of India bill. There will be a single regulator. Why there will be single regulator? In order to avoid the conflict and in order to focus on the quality education. And I have recently, one of my friend has shared this news that in the government is already have with the HECI bill, and they are going to introduce it in the monsoon session, this session only. Now, what is the concept of academic leadership? Number one is visionary thinking, that is, setting institutional objectives which are aligned with the national education policy. So, visionary thinking, we need visionary academic leaders who can align their objectives of the institution with the national education policy. Number two, influence and inspiration, guiding teams towards educational excellence. It means evidence-based decisions. Now the academic leaders need to take the evidence-based decision, that is strategies enhancing institutional outcomes. Okay. And innovation fostering, that encouraging creative teaching methods. So this is all about academic leadership. Academic leader need to be a visionary thinker. He should influence and inspire his team, and the decision should be evidence-based, and the decision must help in increasing the innovation. Next is, what are the qualities of effective academic leaders? So these are the qualities of effective academic leaders. Number one is integrity, that is ethical principles guiding decisions. Number two is empathy. I'm not talking about sympathy, friends. I'm talking about empathy. The great leaders, academic leaders, need to be empathetic. That is, they need to be sensitive, a stakeholder, concern, who can concern, understanding. So empathy need to be there with the academic leader. He should be inclusive. That is, should promote diverse viewpoints equitably. Adaptability is one of the characteristics of effective academic leader, that is swift response to policy changes. If there is any policy change, the response should be swift from the academic leader side. Communication should be clear to all the stakeholders. Friends, we know any university is the core of the university is teacher and taught, but there are various stakeholders in any institution. They are society, there is government, there are regulatory bodies. So academic leader should have quality of adaptability. He should have good communication skills, have a person of integrity, empathy, and inclusiveness. Now, friends, when we talk about the leadership styles which are basically aligned with the NEP 2020, number one is transformational. That is, a leader, this transformational leadership, that is, he must inspire teams through motivation and vision. Okay. Number two is distributed leadership. We do not need a leader who usually concentrates all the power with him. Centralized leadership is not acceptable now. Now we need a leader who encourages collaborative decision making process, because in universities and colleges the administrators have to deal with the intellectual people. Okay, so the diverse viewpoint should be respected. Okay, a great leader will be one who can distribute the leadership. Servant leadership, friends, this is the new concept, and it is already as per the Indian knowledge system. And friends, you might be knowing during the Indus Valley civilization, when the excavation of the Indus Valley civilization took place, we found one murti, we found one idol. Name of that idol was Sannyasi Raja. Here in India, here in Bharat, we think that the leader should be the servant of the society, servant of his citizens, servant of the members of the organization. So he is basically the trustee, and the society and the people to whom the leader is serving should have trust in him. Next one is democratic leadership, that is transparent, stakeholder engagement should be there. So these are the leadership styles which are basically aligned with the NEP 2020. So most important which I would like to say is servant leadership, where leader act as a servant. So he should act as a chokidar of his citizens. Next is academic, but there are various academic leadership challenges. Number one, there will be lot of resistance whenever there is lot of resistance to change, that is managing institutional inertia towards reforms. Whenever the leaders they start changing something, there is lot of resistance. Friends, we have gone through various case studies in banking sector also. When the computers was introduced in the banking, there was lot of resistance. Those who basically adopted it reached the top level, and many employees of the banks they have left because the government has come with one scheme. The name was, that scheme was uh, golden handshake scheme. Many employees they took the VRS. Okay, but it is true that whenever there is any change, there is resistance. Number one is balancing roles. One of my vice chancellor said to me when I was talking to him that the role of the vice chancellor is of the firefighter. Why? Sometimes he has to go here and there to आग बुझाने के लिए एक जगह जा रहा है, फिर दूसरी जगह आग लग गई employees में, then students he has to manage. At the same time, he has to balance the roles. So administrative duties versus academic responsibilities. So this is the challenge that the academic leader has to maintain the balance between various stakeholders. Now, resource, while there are various resource constraints also, friends, like the resource constraints related to the funding issues and staffing issues also, staffing limitations. Recently, I would not like to take the name of that university. Recently, I visited a university which is located in South, and I found that there was only one or two faculty members, permanent faculty members in the departments, and rest of the faculty members are either guest faculties or contractual faculties. Friends, so sometimes in order to run the organization very efficiently, there is staff crunch also, and there is some funding issues from the sponsoring agencies also. It may be the government, it may be from the management side. So these are the challenges which a academic leader has to face. And I know few universities where there are only 12 to 14 professors and they are permanent, and 100 to 100 they are contractuals. Okay, so in that case it becomes challenging for the academic leaders to run the show. Yeah. Next is stakeholder management, like reconciling varying expectation and interest. It becomes, friends, we know that in our executive councils, in board of management, they are representatives from like MLAs, MPs are the representatives, and sometimes social workers are also the representatives, sometimes alumni are the representatives. It depends on university to university, statutes to statute, because we know that the education is in the concurrent list, though different state governments have different, you can say, compositions. So sometimes the academic leaders has to basically reconcile the expectations and interest of those members also, because they if somebody is MP, definitely he will try to get something good for their people whenever the decisions are taken, because he has liability towards his people in that constituency. So what I want to say, that when you are an academic leader, your job is to do balancing, because you cannot meet the expectations of everyone. Okay, so this is the challenge. Next one is governance in educational institutions, like efficiency. We need to streamline administrative processes and system. Friends, we know, as I have already discussed, that most of the fourth grade jobs have been outsourced after the sixth pay commission. You will find that almost in all the universities, there's the fourth class employees have been outsourced. There are less permanent staff, so it affects the governance of the educational institutions. So efficiency is there, but meaningful faculty and student, because in governance nowadays, whenever we constitute the board of studies or a school board, the represent or academic council, the representation of the alumni, representation of the social workers are also required. So meaningful faculty and student engagement need to be there for the governance purpose in some of the universities. For the transparency, we know all the executive council meetings, academic council meetings need to be there on the website of the university, so that it can be accessible to the different stakeholders. So transparency is increasing. Now we also know that as far as the payments are concerned, they are directly given in the accounts, not cash is not given nowadays. So transparency, for governance, transparency is required. Open processes fostering stakeholder trust and accountability. Define responsibility at every level. For the governance issue in educational level, in educational institutions, accountability, responsibility should be defined. Friends, we know that responsibility is never given. I'm using this term, responsibility is never given. It is always taken. If you don't take the responsibility, nobody can make you responsible. So there should be accountability, which need to be matched with the responsibility also. If somebody is given responsibility, it should have matching with the accountability, that is power also. So that is the need of the hour. Now next is governance structure under NEP 2020. This is the governance structure under NEP 2020. That is clear hierarchy, defined responsibilities within institutional governance. Now, almost all the universities, almost all the colleges, they are putting the organizational structure on their website. You can find out even in ministries also. When you visit the ministry website, organizational structure is uploaded on that. Who is the minister, who are the state ministers, who are the secretaries, additional secretaries, joint secretaries, director, uh, organizational structure. In the same way, in the NEP 2020 says that there should be clear-cut hierarchy in the organization. The autonomous body, independent decision-making committees, ensuring impartiality. And friends, we know that there are various equal opportunity cell is there. There is ISEC in many universities dealing with the sexual harassment cases. There are ethical committees which basically guide the issues related with ethical research in the universities. So there need to be autonomous bodies which can take decisions. There need to be periodic reviews, that is continuous evaluation of governance effectiveness. And friends, in almost many universities, e-samarth has been implemented. Like in IGNU, if I have to apply for the leave, I can apply on e-samarth. I can upload my bills on the e-samarth panel. I can move my file online also. So in almost all the universities, e-samarth is now applicable. That is for it helps in transparency also, and it also saves the money. It also lead to achieve the sustainable development goals, because it makes the universities paperless. So in almost, and friend, I would like to share one information from the last 5 years. There is a portal you might have gone through, that is known as CU Chayan. Have you gone through that? CU Chayan. Central University Chayan. If you fill up your application on CU Chayan, there what you have to do, you have to upload your documents, scan it, upload it. You have to scan your photographs, upload it, 10th, 12th mark sheet, everything you have to upload there. And after uploading it on CU Chayan website, whenever the vacancies come, you just put one click, make the payment, and your your application will be forwarded to that university, and you can appear in the interview also. So this is the recent development. CU Central University Interest Test, you might be knowing, CUET. There is one nation, one exam. So already this thing, as far as the governance of uh, admissions are concerned, as far as the employee welfare is concerned, in most of the universities, these practices are basically used. So it basically makes our governance system more effective. There may be problems. There may be problems because this is new, but
दिव्य
the
याचं का
keep in mind. Now, as far as the institutional autonomy is concerned, academic freedom need to be there. That is innovative curriculum, design capability. See, whenever we talk about the institutional autonomy, autonomy can be given on the three fronts. Number one is academic freedom. Number two is financial autonomy, and number three is administrative flexibility. That is financial. Why financial autonomy? As I have already discussed, that uh, financial autonomy is very important for income and expenditure purpose, and innovation encouragement also. So institutional autonomy has three aspects: academic, financial, and administrative flexibility. What are the various good governance practices? There should be regular academic audits that can be done by the committee which is from the university or from outside the university also, which will help in consistent institutional quality evaluation. There can be effective grievance redressal like clear, fair, concern addressing mechanism. There can be stakeholder consultations. Already, a stakeholder consultation is very important because we get good suggestions from the stakeholders, active stakeholder involvement in decision, and financial transparency like clear budgeting and spending processes should be there in the universities. Now, management in higher education. When we talk about the management in higher education, it is basically comprehensive framework for effective institutional leadership and operational excellence in academic environment. Like, what are the core management functions, friends? These are the core management functions like resource management in a university, like optimum allocation of physical, financial, and human resources. And this is true that now the colleges, and universities are basically facing the crunch in not only in the physical, financial, but also on the human resource front. So resource management is one of the core management function. Number two, infrastructure maintenance. That is, the infrastructure should be sustainable. Campuses should be safe, like there should be cameras and all that in order to have great learning environment for the students. The student welfare should be there. That is comprehensive support service ensuring satisfaction. And last one is academic scheduling, that is effective timetable and event management. So these are the core management functions for any university: resource management, infrastructure maintenance, student welfare, and academic scheduling. Now, what is the strategic institutional planning? That is goal clarity should be there. That is, a university or institution should develop the short term, long term academic objectives. Friends, now UGC has told almost to all the universities for prepare institutional development plans. It is known as IDP. There is a draft IDP which is already uploaded on the UGC website, institutional development plan. Now the universities have to make plan for the next 50 years. For that, they have to do the SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, and opportunity, and threat analysis. So that can give the direction to the university where to move. Number one is stakeholder alignment. That is strategic alignment among the institutional participants. Periodic review should be there. Regular evaluation, strategic recalibrations, and consistent monitoring and progress reporting. So as far as the human resource management is concerned, friends, effective recruitment, and we know that recruitment is a tedious job in any government institution. Why? Because there is lot of litigations, there is lot of RTIs. So that's why many academic leaders, they don't put their hands in a recruitment process because there is lot of tension, there is lot of queries. Okay, so now if there should be effective recruitment that is aligning hiring with institutional vision. Friends, lot of audits in many states governments are doing, that they are evaluating the demand and supply of the students in various subjects. Like in some of the subjects there are only 2 or 3 students, in some of the subjects there are more than 100 students. So the government is already basically directing the universities to launch the new courses which can make the students employable. So there should be effective recruitment on the basis of what will be the future requirement. There should be professional development, that is regular training and faculty enhancement need to be there. There need to be performance management, objective performance appraisal systems, because we know that in the system, those who don't work and those who work also, they get the same increment on 1st of July. So there we need to develop some new performance management system. Motivation and retention is very important because faculty selection and retention policies are need to be revamped, because we know that in most of the times faculties, they thought that they should be very close to their home if they are placed in some other state, or if they are employed in their home state only. They also think of that because the retention policies of the universities are not okay, it should be made okay. So as far as the human, because human resource is the strength of any university or academic institution, so most of the times the academic leaders need to give their emphasis on this human resource management. For as far as the financial management is concerned, there should be budgetary transparency, that is open financial location and reporting should be there. Fundraising and mobilization, exploring diverse funding resources, that I have already discussed, that alumni and CSR, these may be the two different verticals from where the universities can raise the funds. Resource utilization, efficient financial management and spending. Already in private universities, they are using the ERP solutions, enterprise resource planning finance module. From that, they are utilizing their resources efficiently. In the same way, for the government institutions also, there should be, because I know that the summer portal has a different separate finance module, so that can be used effectively for the purpose of effective resource utilization. Optimum institutional financial resources need to be used for the benefit of the institution. Now, let us see infrastructure and campus management, friend. Regular maintenance. Friends, we have lot of money for construction of the buildings, but we have very less provisions for its maintenance. That's why many great universities which are formed 100 years before are basically now in the ruined condition. The reason being, there is a lack of regular maintenance. So consistent facility upkeep and for sustainability is very important. Next one is technological integration, that is modernizing digital and technological resources. This is for the infrastructure and campus management. Sustainability practices in most of the universities, we see that there is rain water harvesting system they have applied. There are a lot of ponds they have. So environmental cautious operational policies need to be there. Safety and security, that is ensuring safe educational environment by installing cameras, by upgrading our proctorial board and all that. So infrastructure and first we have talked about financial management. It is now infrastructure. Now coming to the student services management, SSD, student services management, SSM. Efficient admissions, because we know the students are basically our products, and we usually sharpen them when they are with us in our education during their education journey. So efficient admission should be there, that is streamlined admission processes, enhancing experience. I've already discussed that in central university there is CUET through which they can take admission. Career services, that is there should be active placement cells supporting employability. There should be a dedicated placement officers who can assist and help the students. there need to be counseling services, and this is required after the corona crisis, because mental well-being is very important now. So counseling services need to be there. A specialized counselor should be hired for meeting the requirements of the students. Now, alumni engagement, that is strengthening long-term institutional relationship, because alumni are our brand ambassadors. So they must be taken care of. Friends, when we talk about the crisis management and institutional resilience, risk management, because we know that there may be risk. So identifying potential risk in advance, we need to identify emergency preparedness. There should be a separate disaster management, crisis management team in the, and recovery stage means effective restoration of normal operations. In some of the universities, in Northeast, because lot of rains happens. So what will be our strategy at that time? How we can effectively restore our normal operations? So there should be a separate crisis management team in the universities which can help in restoring the services in a very short period of time. So it is all about the disaster management. It is all about the risk assessment and management. This is the multidisciplinary education approach, that is curriculum integration, that combining subjects for broader understanding. There need to be faculty collaboration, that is faculty needs to be encouraged for cross departmental teaching. There need to be flexible academic paths that allowing customized learning experiences. Research diversity need to be there, that is fostering interdisciplinary research projects. Friends, now I'm talking about the outcome based education and faculty empowerment. Now you might be knowing, while framing the syllabus, we need to show the outcome based, what will be our outcome. So there need to be clear learning outcome, that is defined academic objectives. This clear cut outcome based outcome need to be there for the course and for the program also. Not only for the course. Here course means subject, and program means like program like MA or MBA. So, and number two, assessment alignment. Teaching methods need to be matched with the outcomes. Faculty training, that is supporting educators to deliver outcome based education. And continuous learning, this is very important, because regular training programs basically enhances the skills of the faculty members. Friends, institutional excellence through NEP. We can achieve the institutional excellence through NEP, that is comprehensive strategies for effective governance, stakeholder engagement, and sustainable development in educational institutions. Friends, effective stakeholder communication should be there. There should be open channels which can help in clear communication, and ultimately it enhances the transparency in the institution. There need to be regular updates from the institution side to the stakeholders, which helps in timely sharing, builds the trust. There need to be feedback mechanism from the stakeholder side, like the stakeholders inputs basically helps in improvement of the services. And there need to be inclusive dialogue, that is diverse views ensure representation. Friends, visually we don't respect the diverse views, but it is the need of the hour that the diverse view must be respected in the educational institutions, because it helps in increasing the efficiency of the organization. Now, promoting institutional excellence. How we can promote the institutional excellence? We can promote it by quality benchmarks, like clear standards, and by ensuring consistency. There need to be continuous assessment by regular evaluation, which drives improvement. And recognition excellence, friends, like rewards motivate performance, means the performance must be rewarded. And next one is innovation management, because this national education policy talks about innovation. So innovation, creativity, because creativity leads to growth, so innovation must be encouraged. Next is digital governance and integration, friends. That is, there are various digital platforms, that is MIS streamlines administrative processes. It enhances transparency, that is management information system. There are e-learning systems like online platforms, broaden accessibility, like SWAM and MOOCs platforms. They integrate educational delivery. And data management is very important for secure handling, safeguard, because it helps safeguards the information, and it also supports the decision making. So digital governance and integration is very important, friends. Like we can use the digital platforms, we can use the e-learning systems, and we can also manage the data also, friends. Now, ethics in integrity. This is the role of ethics and integrity in institution. Like leaders model ethical behavior. The leader who are leading the institution should behave ethically because they can act as a model. There should be transparent decision, open processes, promote accountability, because whenever we are open, the transparency and accountability increases. Integrity training, regular workshops reinforces practices. There should be integrity training to the employees because it basically reinforces integrity in the employees. Clear cut standards should be there, that is defined guidelines always ensure consistency. Friends, NEP, when we talk about the NEP and sustainable development goals, the sustainable development goals should be integrated with the curricula, that is academic programs are need to be aligned with the sustainability. The research focus projects support societal impact. We need to focus on those research areas which basically supports the societal, which can create the societal impact. Our campuses should be green, that is sustainable resource management is very important. Now, community engagement need to be there, that is student participation basically build the responsibility. Now, friends, we cannot ignore the role of community as a stakeholder in any academic institution. So they need to be part of that. Now, you can see the picture in my presentation. It looks beautiful. Why? Because institutional branding and outreach is very important, and which can be happen through strategic communication, that is clear messaging, which will help in highlighting the strength of the organization. Media engagement. And now almost all the universities are on Instagram, they are on Twitter, that is on the X platform, they have their YouTube channels. Why all the universities are coming on the social media, friends? Because media engagement basically enhances the visibility of the organization. And in future, you will find, friends, that in almost all the districts, there will be one university. As far as the National Education Policy 2020 is concerned, it envisions that in every district, there should be one university. Okay. Alumni relations, because alumni are part of the networks of the institution. So network basically builds the credibility, and online presence. Dynamic platforms broaden the engagement of the institution. So for institutional branding and outreach, these are the areas where the institutions can work on. Now, as far as the alumni relation is concerned, friend, the alumni engagement is very important. That is, it helps in a strong network. That platform maintains lifelong bonding, because the alumni are the brand ambassadors of the institutions. There need to be alumni contribution. It supports through mentorship and funding. Regular communication should be there. That is, newsletters maintain active connection. A institution can come up with the newsletters where what has happened in the last 1 month can be published, which can help in maintaining the alumni relation and engagement. And the great performer alumni can be recognized also in a certain function. Now, monitoring and evaluation, there need to be academic audits, that is systematic evaluation, always maintain quality, which ensures the NEP compliance. There should be performance indicators, that is measurable benchmarks, which basically helps in evaluating effectiveness. Clear institutional metrics need to be developed. There need to be documentation practices, that is record keeping always ensures the accountability, and it provides data for the future decision making. So this is the monitoring and evaluation mechanism which an institution can develop, that they can go for academic audits, they can develop performance indicators, and also they can go for documentation practices. Friends, what are the key takeaways for the NEP implementation? The key takeaways are that leadership commitment is very important. That is, visionary leadership is crucial for NEP. Transparent governance is important, that because the openness builds stakeholder confidence. stakeholder collaboration, that is active involvement, always enriches the outcome of the institution and future ready proactive adaptation to the innovations. Because I have already discussed that the objective of the National Education Policy 2020 is to foster the creativity and critical thinking among the faculty members and the students. So friends, this is all from my side. If there are any questions, you may ask. If there is any question, friends, you can ask. Yeah, I am ready to answer for the my first lecture and the second lecture, both. If there are any doubts, any questions, you may ask. Yes, बताइए. Is there any question? मतलब अगर कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो मैं उसका जवाब देने के लिए तैयार हूं. If there is no question, we can end up with the session. Please.
Excuse me, sir.
Hmm.
There's one thing which I wanted a clarification, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have a question. May I can ask?
I'm Dr. Sabni speaking.
Hmm.
Sir, in this case, in terms of the Indian knowledge system, is it necessary to have Sanskrit knowledge to get the
No.
qualification in IKS or
No.
teacher?
No.
Okay.
See, Sanskrit is preserved and promoted by the government because the mool text, the basic text is available in Sanskrit.
Okay.
But because the development of the latest AI tools, latest technologies, those Sanskrit matter can be translated into the other languages also. And already I have discussed that this AICT, they have come up with one translation tool which we have used in IGNOU. They have already translated our English material into Odia. We are doing with the Marathi and Telugu and Tamil also. So there is lot of translation tools which we can use. The knowledge of Sanskrit is not required because the main basic text is in Sanskrit. So if you know the Sanskrit, it is easy. Otherwise, now there are tools which can translate the this literature into other languages also. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
And it is free of cost.
Yes,
It
sir.
is free of cost. Like I have already discussed, I have given you one insight that please do visit the Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti website, which is working under the Ministry of Education. Lot of projects, lot of funds are coming. You can be part of this journey also.
I
Okay,
see.
that will give you satisfaction also, because we know that there are certain books which are in Marathi that need to be translated in Hindi so that the people who are in the Hindi belt, they can also understand. In the same way, as we have been the pioneer in that, we have already started translating our courses in different languages.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, there was one question from uh, one participant. You may ask, ma'am.
Sir,
Ji.
am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Dr. Labuni Basu from West Bengal.
Okay.
Sir, it was a nice, discussion, and we have, grabbed lots of information from you, which are really very much informative, and definitely it will help our future. Sir, I would like to ask you one thing, that nowadays there's a concept has been very much embracing, that is online education, online courses. But sir, I have seen one thing, that in online courses, most of the students, they can acquire this course from their home as well as. So they are following Chat GPT, and thereafter copy pasting all the materials, and then upload. And also people who are actually going to give the examination, behalf of them another one is giving the examination. So this kind of malpractices, it's definitely going on. To how to stop all this malpractices uh, in the name of online education. So if there is no any kind of proper supervision or monitoring, at least at the time of giving the examination, final examination, semester examination, so how this kind of degrees will be evaluated, and how it will be workable for future prospect?
And we are also facing lot of challenges here, because but one thing is good in our university is that in spite of being an open and distance learning university, the student has to give the final exam in the physical form on the center. In IGNU, you have to appear physically if you are to give examination, final examination. And uh, you will be surprised to know that we have 35 lakh registered students. Okay. And in MBA program itself, almost in every 6 months, near about 8 to 10,000 students, they take admission in every 6 months. Yearly, near about 24,000 students. And we usually give one, they have to submit one project in MBA. For that, they earn certain credit. And you are very true that most of the projects which we are getting, they are basically generated by the Chat GPT and all that. Okay. Or they usually change their name, few students only. They usually change the name, they change the data, time period, and they submit their project. But do you know what is our pass percentage? We have very less, 22% of the students only get degree from here, MBA degree. Most of them are fail. Okay, so what it means that the institution, and nowadays earlier Turnitin, when the thesis was submitted, Turnitin could not detect the AI generated material. Now Turnitin is also embedded with new technologies where they can find out whether the content has been generated by the AI or not. So there are always various tools which can be used. Yes, definitely it is a challenge for the teacher like us. It is a challenge, but I hope that something will come which will help in containing all these problems, because it is new to us also. We also don't know many things about the Chat GPT. We know only basic functions, and I know that most of us, if we are using the basic version. We are not using the paid version. Okay, so I hope that once the technology has come, something will come to detect all these kinds of fraud. Yeah. As
uh,
far as I am concerned, I can find out that whether the material is generated by the AI. Why I can find out? Because I have done a course by the Grant Thornton. There is a company, Grant Thornton. From there, I have done a course on generative AI. So while seeing the content only, I can find out whether it has been generated or not, because their language is something different, very systematic. Okay, so I hope in future something will come in order to detect all these kinds of fraud. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
hello. Yeah.
Ji, ma'am.
Sure. Definitely, IGNU and other government, state universities, they are permitting that student have to physically present in the university. Thereafter they can give examination. That's IGNOU, it's very much renowned, that's no doubt. But the thing is, sir, I'm talking about other private universities,
See, madam,
like
yes, let me give the answer. I understand your question. See, there are always loopholes in the system, whether it is government or private. It is there. But what I want to say, let us assume you have a degree of MBA. You have to qualify NET, whether it is from the private or whether it is from the government. If you have a degree of B.Ed, do you know earlier 30 to 40 years back, even if you have a B.Ed degree, you can become a government teacher. Just 50 years back. If you have a B.Ed degree, you can become the government teacher in any primary school. Now, what government has introduced, that you have to qualify the CTET. You earn degree from anywhere, but you have to give the examination. In the same way, earlier, now, if you don't qualify the NET, you cannot enroll yourself in the PhD. You have to qualify the NET. You take your degree from anywhere, but if you want to pursue your PhD, you have to qualify the NET. So the government is system is already putting check and balances. Okay. Now earlier, it was not mandatory to get plaque check for the thesis. Now it has become mandatory. And I agree with you all that many students are doing paraphrasing. Okay. They are using different methods so that to reduce the plagiarism. Okay. But I think that once these technologies are available to everyone, everybody will learn. There will be check and balances. Okay, so you get the degree from anywhere, you have to qualify NET. If you want a job in Punjab National Bank as a specialist officer or bank PO, even though you have a degree from any rural college, if you complete the examination, you can become. So degree doesn't have any value. Now you have to be in the competition. Okay, slowly you will find that there will be various competitions for the job. So degree will not going to work now. Maybe
thank you so much, sir.
yeah. That's why earlier the PhD can be pursued by anyone getting 50%, 5% marks. Now the government has made mandatory that you have to qualify NET. It is true that the number of NET candidates has increased, the quantity has increased, but our population is also too large. Yeah.
Yes, sir, it is very good, it is very good.
Any question? Otherwise, we can close the session. G. So, madam, any from the organizer side? So, friends, thank you to all of you, because it is 5 o'clock now in Delhi. Here we are facing the problem of Kamad Yatra, because of that there is lot of traffic issues will be there. So I am ending my lecture 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before. So sorry from my side, and thank you to all of you for patiently listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very nice lecture.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
good session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a very interactive and nice session, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thing. So participants, you can write down your roll numbers in chat box.
Thank you.
सभी प्रतिभागी अपना रोल नंबर डालिए चैट बॉक्स में. उपस्थित सभी सहभागी ने अपना रोल नंबर डालना है क्योंकि मैं अटेंडेंस काउंट कर सकता हूँ।
हेलो सर। हेलो सर। सर। सर।
किसी पार्टिसिपेंट
मदन
का
सर।
माइक ओपन है, प्लीज म्यूट कीजिए।
मदन सर। हेलो मदन सर।
ओके, लास्ट 2 मिनट्स।
मदन
एनी
सर।
पार्टिसिपेंट्स, किसी का रोल नंबर डालना रह चुका है तो प्लीज डालिए, आपकी प्रेजेंट लग सकती है।
सर सर मुझे आपसे बात करनी है।
सर मुझे कॉल कीजिए सर।
ठीक है ठीक है।
वो दुनिया का सबसे नालायक आदमी रहता
Okay, so participants, you can leave this meeting.